Okay, good day everyone, and welcome to Lesson 6, the Memorandum for the subject Business Communication, which is presented by your student, Professor Chanel Humaway. So, before we start discussing the Memorandum, let's talk about first its definition. So, by definition, a Memorandum, or is commonly referred to as memo, is a brief written message used for internal communication within an organization or between individuals in the same company. Now, most likely, the ones who give out memos are those in position to give them. For example, in a company, the HR, when it comes to HR-related matters, brings about or gives out memo for the people concerned in the company. It may refer to as a particular group of people, the entire company as a whole, or even for single individuals. Okay, so memo serves as effective tools for conveying information. So you want to share, no, not simply share, you want to inform everybody or somebody specific things that they need to know, issuing directives, instructions, making announcements, and documenting decisions within a business environment. So here are the contents for today's lesson. Special features with the routine memo, its purpose, kinds, formats and styles used, and the tones of the memoranda. So let's talk first about the special features of memoranda. So there are four, and the first one is brevity. So memos are typically concise, focusing on conveying information efficiently without unnecessary elaboration. So it's direct to the point, specifically since information itself needs to be as simple as possible so the people concerned can immediately understand what the memo is for. Okay? Informality. So, while maintaining professionalism, memos are less formal than other business documents like letters or reports. This has something to do with it being as simple as possible, its brevity, which makes it less formal. Regardless, even though it is informal, the use of different slang words and other emoticons or emoticons, emojis, or things like that are not to be found in a memo because it makes it less serious. Okay. Now, directive tone often includes directives or action items for recipients to follow. Since memos give information, but usually they also give directives or issues actions to people concerned, such as this directive tone that people need to follow this. And it is only for internal use. So it's primarily used for internal communication within an organization. So although in government agencies, as you may see memorandums being floated around, especially for DepEd, or in our case in PUP, these memos are posted online now, so sometimes people outside the organization can see them. Regardless, the information is for or within the organization or the company itself. Okay, so these are the people concerned, only within the organization. Okay, so CDEPET, they have this memo. So all public schools, most likely, it is under DepEd, are affected by memorandums. Right? So let's talk first about routine memo. So it may fall under these kinds of memo, but most of the time, this is the kind of memo that is uh, given within the company or organization that you work for. So by definition, it is a standard form of memo used for regular internal communication within an organization. So these are commonly used for sharing updates, reminders, announcements, or requests within a department or team. So as future HR personnel, you would be using this routine memo most of the time, especially if you are given instructions by the higher ups when it comes to certain announcement and reminders for a certain team or for the company itself, since you are under this human relation. So you connect somehow the employees to the management. So most of the time, since they're going to give you this instruction that you have to announce this to people, to everybody, you need to have them follow this procedure now, unlike the other before. Send them a memo. So I'm going to give this. So samples are meeting reminders, policy updates, schedule changes, and departmental announcements. So in this case, so that's the routine. So purpose. So there are three main purposes for writing. So first one is communication, of course, as what we have been talking about before. In a company, proper and well understood communication within a company ensures its success. So memos facilitate effective communication within an organization by disseminating information to relevant individuals or departments. So it, these memos, when sent to team leaders, to department heads, or people involved or concerned, actions are done to make sure that the memos are followed or information is shared to them, which allows them to work more effectively. So documentation. So memo serves as written records of decisions, instructions, or discussions. So if there is a need to revisit these decisions made in the past by a new management or whatsoever, these memos, as long as they are well preserved or in their proper places by the concerned personnel, HR, for example, they can revisit this information for future reference and actions. And accountability, since the maybe people involved in making such rash decisions that cause the company to lose money or what can be traced back to the memo. And coordination. Memos can be used to coordinate activities, delegate tasks, provide guidelines on specific projects or initiatives. So there's a major project that the company needs to undertake. So each department needs to do their specific task, and by writing a memo indicating what they need to do, when they need to finish it, enables the company to streamline their work and make sure that they follow or they reach a deadline with all the parts of their big project uh, neatly finished or accomplished. Okay, so how do you write a memo? So here we have the five major parts: the heading, introduction, the body, conclusion, and the attachments. So comes to the heading, we include there the recipient of the memo. Is it an individual or a group? The sender, who sent the memo? Is it the HR department, the CEO itself, the president, or the board of the directors? The date, of course, and the subject to provide context and organization. What is the memo all about? So that when someone is going to read it ahead of time, read the title, he already has an idea what it is all about. So we have this introduction in which the person who wrote the memo indicates their purpose for the memo. The body is at this point of the memo, it involves all the necessary information, instructions or discussions that needs to be understood. Conclusion summarizes the key points, provide any necessary follow-up actions, and offers closing remarks if necessary. Attachments are optional, of course, since depending on the kind of memo, whether there's a need to attach other documents such as let's say minutes of the meetings or previous memos or guidelines posted by the company before. Okay, so here on the screen we have an example of a memo. So as you can see here, we're doing put the parts of what we have discussed before. So the top part of your memorandum, of course, is your heading or your company logo. Next, the recipient, the sender, of course, additional recipients if there's any, the date. Now, whether your company follows different arrangement for these things, you just need to follow them. But these are the four parts that you can find at the top of your memo. followed by the subject line. What is the topic all about? But sometimes they also put it there at the upper part. Then the message body, which is the introduction, the body, the summary, the conclusion. Okay, so that's it for the example of a memo. Next, let's have the kinds of memo. So first up, we have informational memo. So these types of memo provides updates, announcements, or general information to the recipients. As you can see here in our example, to the right, this is a memorandum informing this group of people, peers, Sarika, Larissa, etc. about the work completed for their project of Forms Canada. Okay. Then we have a directive memo. So this includes instructions, requests, or action items, for recipients to follow. Here, for this example of a directive memo, it presents these tasks that this group, the design team, number 362, needs to accomplish for these days. Okay, so the task, the completion date here. Then we have the response memo. So this responds to previous memo communication, addressing questions, concerns, or requests raised. So here, this memo is actually a response from the design team 362 from the previous memo that I presented to you to the WP working department. So here they have their purpose, their discussion, and their action regarding their response or their request to change certain details of the memo given to them. Then we have a policy memo. So it communicates changes or updates to organizational policies, procedures, or guidelines. For our example, we have here a new policy memorandum wherein it is informing all employees that they need to submit their end day reports every 8 p.m. for every working day. So it must have been different before. So here they are presenting a new policy for the company. Then we have the recommendation memo. It provides recommendations, suggestions, or proposals for consideration by decision makers. So we give these kinds of memo for people who needs to make this decision regarding their certain department. So it's pretty much crucial for you to give this recommendation memo to a specific department, especially if their department needs to do something about certain issues or they need to make a big decision. That's why for this they include an explanation why this is their recommendation. So here they have a summary of what they want to recommend and the introduction for the said recommendation. So you can just pause the video if you want to read the memo and the other parts from the previous ones. So tones of memoranda. So it can be four depending on the subject of your memoranda. It can be under the neutral tone, the professional tone, the directive tone, and the friendly tone. So you use the neutral tone if objective and factual. If you want to focus on that, focusing on conveying information without bias or information. The professional tone maintains professionalism and respect while addressing recipients using appropriate language and tone. We also have the directive tone, in which it clearly communicates instructions or action items for recipients to follow using assertive language. And we have the friendly tone, used in more casual or informal memos, maintaining professionalism while adopting a warmer and friendly tone. So, depending on the kinds of memo that we have before, we're going to use these following tones. So, the directive tone for the directive memo, the professional tone. Maybe if you want to, if you're going to use the recommendation memo, for the policy memo, the neutral tone for the informational memo, friendly tone. Comes to informal memos, we haven't really there's no really to be discussed for now. Since when it comes to presenting memos, you might either end up just writing a friendly letter than an informal one. So in conclusion, memorandums play a vital role in internal communication within organizations, providing quick and efficient means of conveying information, issuing directives, and documenting decisions. So a company works well as long as the memos go around all the crucial and necessary information that needs to be disseminated within the company internally. Of course, it is it is utilized or company can work well as long as the memorandum is well made. So all the information, the necessary information are there, the directives are clear, etc. So understanding the various features, purposes, formats, and tones of memoranda enables individuals to effectively utilize memos for communication. Coordination within their professional environment. So you have it, folks, the importance and the need for being able to write a proper memorandum. So that's all, and thank you for watching and listening.